Welcome to Chatty on the Bank, episode 8. Today, I'm having a little bit of a moan. What does go fishing give back mean? Cadence commit for every £50 spent on their tackle, they will donate to charity. But it's much bigger than that. I'm a Cadence ambassador, and I'm very proud to be an ambassador for Cadence. I get nothing more, or no more pleasure than helping somebody catch their own fish, or go and catch a specimen fish, and if I've shown them how to do it. What about angling clubs? Do they go fishing and give back? Most angling clubs actually have people working for nothing. They're just committed, whether they're chairman, secretary, match secretary, fishery management, or just on the committee. They are committed to going fishing and giving back to all the members. I actually get annoyed when I go round club waters and hear anglers saying, look at the state of this car park. Why don't they do something about it? Well, who are they? I joined my first angling club in May 1964. I was 11 years old, and in those days you had to appear before the committee to join an angling club. I turned up on the Thursday evening because the meetings were held in a room at the back of a pub, and there was another lad waiting outside, and we stood there at about 5 to 8, and all of a sudden this bloke came round the corner and he said, "Oh, you come about the fishing club?" So we said yes, and he said, "Right, go through that door, up the stairs and wait. I'll be there in a couple of minutes. I'm just popping in here." And obviously he'd gone to get a pint. So he came back again, and he said, "Hang on a sec," and he went in and he went, "2. And then he stuck his head back round the door and he said, "Right, come in then, boys." And we went in there. It's quite daunting, if I'm really honest, which it would be when you're only a young lad. And we walked in this room looking a bit apprehensive, and just stood there, and there was a table with 3 blokes on it, including the bloke we'd just seen. And there was a big guy in the middle, and he said, "Right, my name's Fred, and I'm chairman of this angling club. Really want to enjoy our angling club, I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's a bit like being a family." He said, "We've all got jobs to do, and there's all things going on, but it's nothing to worry about. This man to my right, his name is Eric, and he's the club secretary, and he'll take your name and address. So if you give that to him, and then we can get on a little bit." So we gave our names and addresses, and then this man on my left, his name's Peter. He looks after the juniors and he's fishery management officer. "What you got to say, Pete?" So he got a piece of paper out of his bag and he said, "Do you know where this is?" Pointing at a map. And we both walked over and had a look and said, "Yeah, we know where that is. That's just down the road and round the corner." "Right," he said. "What are you doing Saturday?" "Nothing." So, right, if you want to be a member of this angling club, turn up at 9 and bring something to drink, something to eat, and 5 bob. So I turned up Saturday morning and there was no sign of Alan, the boy that came with me, but I was there. And I got met by Peter and I said, does this mean I'm a member of the angling club? And he said, not yet, but you've passed the first test because you've turned up. What we're going to do today is a bit of housework. We've got a couple of swims to make and we need to cut back some banks. And there's about 20 people here that, you know, because there's some blokes and some other lads that are a bit older than me. He said, what I want you to do is, there's some planks down there, go and pick the planks up and bring them back here, and that's all I want you to do. He said, some other boys will be going off with these gents here, they know what they're doing. They're going to be cutting back some brambles and bits and pieces, and what we're going to do, and if your mate ever turns up, we're going to make a couple of swims here. Just want to make a couple of steps and we'll make a swim here and a swim next door. So I need those planks and then some pallets, but you can't lift a pallet on your own. So anyway, we got started. Everybody went off. I hadn't got a clue what I was doing. I just picked up some bits of wood, and Peter said to me, right, okay, do this. I'll go down there. Hang on. Right, no, I'll go down there. I'm going to dig an area out flat with a spade, which he did. And as I come back up, I'm going to dig out some steps to help me get up and out of here. So he did that, and then all of a sudden he said, right, everybody, pack up, you know, let's sit down, have a cup of tea and a chat. And I thought, oh, okay. And then we heard this, can I come in? Can I come in? And it was Alan, the lad that I'd met the day before, and he said, I'm ever so sorry I'm late. My dad said if I wanted 5 bob, I had to help him wash the car before I could come. Hope I can still join. And Peter said, yeah. He said, you've turned up, you passed the first test, and you've also learned a valuable lesson that you don't get money for nothing and you've got to earn it. So yeah, you can come in. So anyway, he said, you stay here with Steve and we'll just carry on building these swims. And after about another hour or so, we built these swims. Alan helped me carry a couple of pallets down. So we dropped the pallets down and then we made something out of the bits of plank that I had to stop the steps collapsing, and he put a board up, a little bit of board, and then a couple of bits of rod that we'd got, and banged them in the ground. And we had a lovely hour or so, maybe 2 hours I think it was. And then he said, right, that's it everybody, that's enough for today. Want everybody back here, and he came back here, and we all there, and then he said, right, Eric, these 2 boys have got 5 bob each, so is that all right? So we went over and saw Eric, gave him our 5 bob, and in return we got our membership cards for the club. And what we learnt there between us was, you're not just a member of a fishing club, you are part of a fishing club, and that's what we need to do to get along. Everybody's part of a bigger family. So that's my story of what happened the first time I joined an angling club. What does this mean? Does that mean on that day don't arrive and do any work? Or does it mean completely the opposite? As a member of an angling club, it's everybody's duty to make sure that work gets done. It doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are, there's always something to do. Whether it is making tea because you're not able to do a lot of physical work, everyone needs a cup of tea. Anyone can carry wood and bits and pieces that have been cut off. Anyone can man a bonfire. There are no excuses. If you can lift your tackle out of the boot of your car, then you're able to go and do a work party. Obviously, things have changed these days, especially in the last couple of years, because since the pandemic there's been a huge influx of people wanting to fish because they've suddenly realised they're allowed to fish. And I know the membership of one of my clubs has actually closed last year because there's so many people wanted to join. But it's also struck me that these people, these new anglers, don't actually know what it means to be a member of an angling club, because they didn't have to go through the perils that I did as a lad. So to those people I say, do you want to turn up and fish, or do you want to be part of a community, a family, and help and return something to other people in your club? In other words, go fishing and give back. Personally, I think if people just want to turn up and fish, and this might be considered nasty, if you just want to turn up and somewhere and fish, go and fish a commercial day ticket water, because it just causes antagonism among club members. I'm sorry I've said it, but you're quite welcome to come to work parties if you change your mind. P.S. Something quite applicable here. Do not think, oh, I'll turn up and do my own work parties and cut trees down and help in that way. Do not do that, because these days it's all about the environment and habitat. There may be some birds that are nesting in a certain area. There may be a specific habitat which is inhabited by crested newts and other species. Do not do it unless you know and have had permission. There's also a lot of cooperation these days with the RSPB, Natural England and other people that are all trying to preserve habitats. So you are in danger of causing a lot of other problems. Do not do it on your own back. Just go fishing and give back.